Hi, let me ask you one question pretty straightforward. Okay, what is your age? What is your age? The moment I ask, you have a ready answer because your date of birth is recorded and you can easily tell your age. You can be 50 years, you can say that I'm 15-year old, I'm 30 years old, like that, whatever your age is. You can just tell your age. That is only biological age. That is the age of your body. But remember, your physical age and your spiritual age are totally different. Because we acquire the body only for a brief spell of time. We incarnate on earth again and again, and our soul has got certain age. So how do we understand the soul age concept? See, if you look at a person, the person can be a small person, small boy, but if you look at his behavior very closely, you find that his maturity levels are very high. That means they can be very matured souls in young bodies, and even the opposite is true. Even in some old bodies which are about to die, they can be baby souls. So means they behave very foolishly, like they behave like kids. They have very mature bodies, but their behavior or their outlook is very childish or kiddish. So looking at their behavior, we can easily make out their soul age. So baby souls can exist in matured bodies, and matured souls can exist in baby bodies. So when we ask for the age, so physical age we can easily tell, but mental age or the spiritual age we cannot. But I'll give certain hints. Using this, we can assess our spiritual age. Okay. See, the first and foremost thing is people on earth, they can be broadly categorized into three groups. The first group are people who are physically oriented. The second group consists of people who are predominantly oriented towards their mind or towards the mental world. And the third category of people are people who are predominantly oriented towards their heart. So these categories are not watertight compartments, in the sense, if you are physically oriented person, it doesn't mean that you are not having any mental orientation or spiritual orientation. But the degree is much lower. So I'm only talking about the predominant. So for example, mentally oriented people, they have slight orientation towards the physical things and even the spiritual things. Like that, the degree of predominance is very important. Okay. So the first category of people consists of people who are physically oriented, in the sense they use their physical bodies to make their living or to pursue their passions in this physical world. They are mostly confined to the physical world. They don't see anything beyond the physical world. So they are mostly concerned with the accumulation of physical assets, physical properties, and their concern is mostly about how to be successful in the physical world. So here in this category of people, they are predominantly concerned with the physical world affairs. What is happening in the physical world is the matter of most concern for them, right? And one more characteristic is that they are predominantly oriented towards negative emotions. Means anger, hatred, grief, sorrow. These are the lower emotions. Greed, lust. Means these people, they have predominantly these qualities. Okay, and their sphere of influence is often confined to the physical world. Okay, if they do something at the physical level, it doesn't affect the society. So if they do whatever the activities they do, they are directed towards making their own life better, not about other people. They are not bothered about other people. They want to make their own life, their family members' life better. Means they are not concerned about other things. So, in this world, more than 70% of people belong to this category. Okay, in the next category, we find people who are mentally oriented, means they use their minds, their mental stuff in order to exist in this world and to pursue their activities in this world. So, this category of people can include scientists, doctors, engineers, and other intellectual peoples who actually work with their mind more than with bodies. In the case of first category of people, they use their physical bodies, but in this category of people, they use their minds more than their bodies. It's not that they don't use their bodies, they use their bodies, but to a lesser extent. They use their minds to create something new and make this place a better place for themselves as well as for other people. So, this category of people, they have their influence on the physical world as well as their mental world. This is not a homogeneous group. In fact, this group is bifurcated into two groups, Naics and Khalnaics. Means Naics are the people who actually make positive impact on the society. On the other hand, we have Khalnaics who make negative impact on the society. And the rest of the society, mostly who are physically oriented, they are sandwiched between these Naics and Khalnaics. Sometimes Naics, they might be more dominant and more influential, and at other times Khalnaics are more influential and predominant compared to Naics. So people in between, or rather sandwiched between the two groups, they follow either Naics or Khalnaics depending on their predominant trends. So Khalnaics are people who are actually make some plots, some certain things, they perform certain things in order to actually gain benefits. So, for example, I would say Dawood Ibrahim. Dawood Ibrahim is a Khalnaik, and there are many people who are influenced by these kind of people, Khalnaiks. They think that this is right and they will do it, and that is how world has become a miserable and horrible place. And on the other hand, we have Naics. Like best example we can say is a Naik like Mahatma Gandhi, who actually influenced certain other people to actually pursue it in a different way. So the society is sandwiched between Naics and Khalnaics. So today, if there is some unrest, if there is some violence, if there is some kind of atrocities going in the society, it is because of these Khalnaics and people who are influenced by these Khalnaics. So, in Kali Yuga, mostly Khalnaics, they have a bigger say. What they do, it is going to have more influence. Today we have so many people. I don't want to name those people, but they are obsessed with wealth creation. They are obsessed with making more money, either ethically or unethically or legally or illegally. But they make a lot of money, and with that money they want to influence the society. So these are the people who are like this. And then we can talk about the other group. So even the degree of influence of these people on the rest of the society is predominant. They use mostly their emotions, both positive and negative emotions, depending on the situation. Okay, the third category of people are the people who predominantly use their heart, who depend predominantly on their hearts, and who pursue the higher emotions such as love, compassion, kindness, and other things. So they work for the betterment of the society, they work for the betterment of every individual in the society. They're not just concerned about themselves. In fact, they're not worried about themselves. They're not materialistically oriented. They don't care for wealth or any other thing. Their concern is only about making this world a better place for you, me, and the rest of the people. So these are the people who are spiritually oriented people. So if you look at the entire population living on earth, we find that spiritually oriented people are very few, and compared to these people, mentally oriented people, they are much bigger in volume. And then we have predominantly physically oriented people. That's how we see the world as a place where we find everything. There are some people who are for some people this is a place which is a good place to live, and for some people it's a horrible place. So we are actually talking about the age of the soul. So everybody starts the journey as physically oriented people, and over incarnations they graduate to the mental level, and beyond that they graduate to spiritual level. So spiritually oriented people, we can say Mother Teresa is one person who is spiritually oriented, because she has done a lot of humanitarian work which has helped many people to overcome their miseries in their life. And the recent example is Ratan Tata. So he's a spiritually oriented person. Like, he's not bothered. See, he's a very rich man. He has got so many things, but he did not care to have a own house. He lived in a rented house. He was trying to do his best to the society at large. So as we move on, we should aspire to get into this final slot of people, the spiritually oriented people. So it's not enough that we work for ourselves. We have to work for the people who needs our help. So we should have kindness, compassion, and other things rather than pursuing our own selfish goals in life. So first part of life, for example, we are living for 100 years. First 25 years or first 50 years, okay, invest on your own thing, pursue your own goals. Keep everything clean. For example, you have to work for the family. You accumulate wealth. Okay, after that, start thinking about people who are not connected to you. Look for their welfare. That is the true purpose of your life. Thank you.